Welcome to the next session of Programming for Problem Solving. The topic for the day is passing values to a function. We have already studied what are functions in the previous section. So in this, we will discuss about the different methods that can be used to pass value to a function in C programming language. There are three methods using which we can pass the value to a function. Some of the authors have mentioned only two criteria or the two methods. The first one is called call by value. The second and the third one, some of the authors have combined these two and they have only stated call by reference. But in this video, we will see the two different methods. One is called call by address and one is called call by reference. As I already stated that some authors use the call by reference to even indicate to the call by address. But we will use three different methods to study how we can pass the value to a function. The first method is called call by value. Now this method copies the value of the actual argument into the formal parameters of the function. Now what are actual argument and what is the formal parameter or formal argument of the function? When we call a function using the function call statement, the arguments that we pass to the function using the function call statement are called the actual arguments. And the parameters that are used to accept the value of the actual argument in the function header are called the formal parameters. So what is the call by value? This method copies the value of the actual argument. That means the argument that we are passing into the formal parameter. So we are going to copy the value. The two set of arguments are independent of each other and local to the calling and called function. So that means the actual arguments are local to the function that is making the call, and the formal parameters are local to the function being called. So they two are independent of each other in terms of the scope. In this case, changes made to the parameters inside the function have no effect on the arguments. So that means if we make any changes during the execution of a function to the formal parameters, there is no effect of that change in the actual argument. It is because the two sets are independent of each other and their scope is local to the functions. Now this is a simple program for using the call by value method to pass the value to a function. In this program, we will swap two numbers using a swap function using call by value and see what are the disadvantages of using the call by value method. Now this is the prototype or the declaration of the function. The return type of the function is void, which means the function will not return any value. The name of the function is swap and it will accept two arguments, and the data type of those two arguments is integer and integer. So here we enter the main function. Two integer variables have been declared. One is a and the other one is called b. So now we reach the function call statement, and this is the function call statement. We are calling the function named swap and we are passing two arguments. One is a and the second one is b. They both are of integer data type as it has been defined here. So once we place a function call statement, the execution of the program will directly jump from the function call statement to the function definition, which is here. So what does the function header contain? The return type is void, the name of the function is swap, and two formal arguments, and both of these formal arguments are of integer data type. Make no mistake, even if the name of these two formal argument is A and B, they both are different from these two A and B. These two A and B actually belong to the main function, whereas these two A and B, they belong to the swap function. The only thing common between these two is that the value of the actual argument, that is A is equal to 10, will be copied to the formal argument A, and the value of B is equals to 20 will be copied to the formal argument B. Now swapping of A and B. So following is the code that is used to swap the value of A and B. Once the execution of this function finishes, we will return back to the main function and we will execute this statement. Here we are going to display the value of A and B after the swapping. Now, will the value be swapped here? The answer is no, because as already stated in the previous slide, the any changes made to the formal arguments in the execution of the function are not reflected in the actual argument. So the value of A and B in the main function will stay the same. So this is the big disadvantage of using the call by value. The concept will be much more clearer if you look at this pictorial representation of the disadvantage of call by value. Now, if you look at this figure carefully, it has been divided into two parts, divided from here. The one on the left is a snapshot at the time when the function is called, and the one on the right hand side is the snapshot when we return from the execution of the function. At the time of the function call on the left hand side, you can see that there are two variables A and B which are the actual arguments. The value of A is 10 and the value of B is 20. The value of these two variables is actually copied to these two formal arguments. In this example, the formal arguments have been taken to be A1 and B1. You can see that the memory allocated to all these four variables is different, 100 and 102, and here 104 and 106, which means these are four different variables. And the only thing common between them is that this value is actually copied to here and this value is actually copied here. Now, once the execution of the function takes place and we swap the two numbers, we move to the snapshot on the right hand side and you can see that the value of the formal argument 20, A has been swapped to 20 and B1 has been swapped to 10. But when we return to the main function, these changes are not reflected in the formal or in the actual argument because there is no relationship between the two set of variables. That is why the changes made in the formal arguments is not reflected in the actual argument. I hope it is very clear to you. Now you have obviously seen what is the disadvantage of using the call by value. Let's see if we can overcome this problem with the help of call by address. Now does this method use? This method copies the address of the actual argument in the formal parameter of the function. Now rather than copying the value of the actual arguments, it copies the address or it passes the address of the actual argument into the formal parameter. So that means there is a relationship between the two sets. The formal arguments contain the address of the actual arguments. In this case, changes made to the parameters inside the functions are effective to the actual arguments. So if you are using the concept of call by address, if you make any changes during the execution of the function to the formal arguments, those changes are also reflected in the actual arguments of the main function. Now let us have a look at the program to see how a call by address actually works. So this is the function declaration or the function prototype. As you can see, the difference between the function prototype using call by value and the call by address is that you are using the dereference operator to indicate that we will be using a pointer variable to store the address. Now, similar to the last program, we are creating two variables inside the main function, and this is the function call statement. Now, as you can see, there is an obvious difference between the function call statement of the call by value and the function statement of call by address. In case of call by value, we were passing the value of the two variables like this in call by value. But here in call by address, we are passing the address of A and B using the reference operator. So what we are passing is the address of the actual argument. Once this statement is executed, the program execution jumps to the function definition. Here, the formal arguments are the pointer variables, and these pointer variables are used to store the address of the actual arguments. Now, with the help of the dereference operator, we are going to swap the value of A and B. Now, will these changes be affected in the actual argument or not? We will see in the next slide. Now, here is an explanation for call by address. Again, the snapshot has been divided into two parts. Now, the one on the left hand side, just wait here. So this is an explanation for the same. So one on the left hand side is the snapshot at the time of the function call, and on the right hand side we have the snapshot at the time we return from the function. Now there is a clear difference between the call by value and the call by address. You can see here the value of A is 10 and the address of A is 10. When the function swap is called, this pointer variable or the formal argument, which is a pointer, does not contain the value of A, which is 10. Instead, it contains the address of A, which is 100. So in the previous example of call by value, the value of A1 was 10. But in case of call by address, the value of A1, which is a pointer variable, is 100, which is the address of the actual argument A. Similarly, B1 will contain the address of actual argument B, which is 102. Now, using the dereference operator, when the changes are made into the variables, those changes are actually directly reflected into A and B, which are the actual arguments of the main function, and as such no changes are made into the formal arguments, because the formal arguments are only used to store the address and not the value. The actual value is stored in the actual argument, so the changes are directly made into the actual arguments. So this is the advantage of using the call by address over the call by value. In case of call by value, these changes were not reflected, but using the call by address, these changes are reflected. The third concept is called call by reference. Call by reference actually uses the concept of aliasing. Now, what is an aliasing? With the help of aliasing, we are able to create a special variable called a reference variable. A reference variable is one for which no new memory is allocated. If we have already created a variable like a, so if it is an integer variable, then 2 bytes of memory will be allocated to it. So wherever that memory is allocated, a is referring to that memory location. I repeat, if you create a variable a of integer data type, a is reference to the memory location where 2 bytes have been allocated. Now, if we create the aliasing of a with another variable b, it means b will not be allocated any additional memory. B will also refer to the same memory which is being pointed to by A. So in this case, A and B both are pointing to the same memory location. In this method, aliasing of the actual argument is done with the formal parameters of the function, which means no separate memory is allocated to the formal parameters. In this case, again, the changes which we are going to make into the formal arguments will be directly reflected into the actual arguments of the main function. Now let's have a look at the program of swapping two numbers with the help of call by reference. So this is the function prototype statement. As you can see, to use the concept of call by reference, we are using the reference operator here. We did not use any operator when we were using call by value. We use the dereference operator during the call by address, and we are using the reference operator for call by reference. Reference operator is used to store the address. Now this is the function call statement. This is absolutely similar to the call by value. So we are just passing the two variables a and b. We are not passing the address of these two variables. Once this statement will be executed, we will jump to the function definition. Here we are creating the two reference variables. So we are not using a, or we are also not using dereference of a. Instead, we are using a reference of a, which means we are going to create the aliasing. Aliasing means no memory will be allocated to this a. It will also point to the memory allocated to this. So this is simply swapping the two variables. And once the value of these two variables is swapped, the changes will be reflected in the main or the actual arguments as well. Now let's have a look at this explanation. Again, the figure is divided into two snapshots. On the left hand side, we see the snapshot at the time when the function is called, and this on the right hand side is the snapshot when the function returns. Now as you can see, these two are the actual arguments. A is stored at location number 100 and B is stored at location number 102. The value of A is 10 and the value of B is 20. When we use the concept of call by reference and we call the function, a reference variable A1 and a reference variable B1 are created, but they use the concept of aliasing. Aliasing means no memory is allocated to A1 and B1. So what they are referencing to? They are referencing to the same memory location of A, and B1 is referencing to the memory location of B. So when we are going to make any changes into A1, those changes will directly happen in A because they both are pointing to the same memory location. And when we are going to make any changes into B1, those changes will be directly reflected into B. So this is an entirely different concept where we are saving memory and we are creating aliasing. Sometimes we avoid to use the concept of aliasing for the security purposes, but it is still better than sometimes using the call by address. So I prefer the use of call by reference over call by address because it uh, is more effective in terms of memory and gives good results. What are the difference between these methods? So as you can see that it is between the two methods only. One is call by value and call by reference. In case of call by value, we simply pass the value of the two variables. In call by address or call by reference, we pass the pointer variable or the reference variable. Second difference is value of the variables are passed as actual argument, whereas in the case of call by reference, the address or the references are being passed. The third difference is the actual and the formal arguments are independent of each other if we are using the call by value. But in case of call by reference or call by address, the two are not independent of each other. In case of call by address, the address is contained in the formal arguments of the actual arguments, and in call by reference, it contains the aliasing of the original variables. Second is memory allocated to the actual arguments and the formal arguments is same. This is a key difference. The key difference is if we have created, let us suppose, an integer variable as a for actual argument. If we use the call by value, then the same integer will be created as the formal argument as well. So that means the value will be, or the memory required will be same. Same with the float. If we create a float as an actual argument of 4 bytes, then if we use the call by value, then the formal argument will also use 4 bytes of memory to create a float variable. But in case of call by address, because the formal parameters will all be a pointer variables, and pointer variables takes 2 bytes in memory irrespective of the data type. So that means if you pass the address of a float variable, so the float variable will take 4 bytes, but the pointer variable used in call by address as formal argument will take only 2 bytes. So that means the size of the variable being passed as call by address has no effect on the size of the pointer variable that is used as formal argument. It will always be of 2 bytes. And in case of call by reference, no memory is allocated at all. I hope the difference between these three methods was clear to you, and you are also able to judge as to which method you want to use. Whether you want the changes that are made to the formal arguments to be reflected into the actual arguments or not. Depending upon that, you can use the method that you want to use. I hope this lecture was useful to you. Thank you very much.